All right, so we are going to do one more little refresher for the Salt Gold trade game to make sure everyone knows what they're doing. So there are going to be, on Friday at 1 o'clock, 2 separate groups that you're going to belong to one of the two, unless you're the boat pilot. We'll get to that in a second. Now, you're either going to be a traveling merchant, which is going to have the designation of an M and then a number, or you're going to be in a city. You're going to be a city dweller, and that will be specific to a specific city. So tomorrow, you will get your groups after mock congressional hearing. We're not going to worry about it until after that. So that's for 7th graders, that's in the afternoon. Most groups will have 2 7th graders and 2 8th graders. Some groups may have a random 9th grader who wants to do the game because they didn't get to do it and they remember seeing it when they were in 6th grade. I think that's kind of cool that you have people wanting to come back to do it, so we'll see. It's not going to be many of them. So let's talk about if you are a merchant group, a trader, that will have the M designation. So if you are a trading group, you are going to start at 1 o'clock over in the lunchroom over there. You will find a bin of resources. Could you grab a bin?
Yes.
From your room?
Everyone writes down 1 o'clock merchants in the lunch.
That's right. And so in your bin, you will find several items. Now, I'm going to do a little verbal tap dance while we're waiting for the things to come. Here we go. All right. So here we go. So we have a bin. Inside your bin, you are going to have several things. You're going to have a sign that I will have already posted up to the wall somewhere in the lunchroom. Notice how it has your group name, very original, M24. Then it says underneath it, long haul, which means you are doing the entire trade route. And then it says what items you are trading. What items is this group trading? All right, so took a while, but we got there. So right here we have a nope.
Die.
This is a porter.
Whoa.
A porter is super helpful because I can put lots of things in it, like iron, and I can place things in here, and look, they don't fall out of my hands when I am not paying attention. Not only can I put iron in there, I can put some colored dye also in there, and it holds the whole thing.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Because you will remember that in this game, you're not allowed to use your pockets. No putting things in here. No. If you get caught using your pockets and it comes to an adult's attention, you are going to lose. So, porter.
What if you just have random stuff that wasn't from your
I'm getting there. So, you are not allowed to use any outside resources, so you are showing up with nothing other than nothing. If you have the notes from today, that is okay. That's the only exception to the nothing rule. So, this group, as you can see, has an awful lot of porters. They also have a passport, and then it's hard to see here, but we have a lot more colored dye, and I don't want to have it come out, and a lot more iron. In this bin, you will also have a resource schedule that will say what each of these items represent, so that you can look it up if you don't remember that small little straws are colored dye. Okay? So, on your passport, most of you will have cities that will tell you what city you are in. The bold black city is the city that you are checking out of. That is, at the end of the game, you are going to have to fill out this little table right here. Right here. And that is how you're going to get your money. Does that make sense? Okay. All money has to be split evenly amongst the group. Don't forget, the back has to be filled out as well. You need to figure out what these cities are. All right, so merchant groups, 1 o'clock, where? Lunchroom. I will be there at 1 o'clock to help start the trading, but it's important for you to know what you need to have just to make it through the game and earn no money. So that way you can get more than just the minimum, so you have other stuff to trade and get rich, which is the object of the game, because then you have the money to then buy stuff at the auction, which you are going to donate materials for. So baked goods, sporting goods, books, games, that kind of stuff. Anything that somebody might actually want. I got a fun game yesterday called Kittens in a Blender. Sounds fun to me. I hate cats. All right. So merchant groups, after you are done trading, there will be parent volunteers at the entrance exit of the lunchroom, and they are going to verify that you have at least the minimum materials to make it on the trading route. Then you are going to take your sign off the wall, put it in the bin, and then you are going to turn the bin into the adult, and at that point you can only use your transportation resources to carry your items.
Otherwise known as hoarders.
But there are also donkeys, camels, and elephants.
Cool.
The nice thing about donkeys, elephants, and camels is they're bags that you can actually close. This is a little iffy. Things fall on the floor. Oh, that's not a good sign. A good thing for you. All right. So does that make sense? Hopefully you pick it up quickly. All right. So if you are in a city, you will not have an M designation. Could you grab me a bin over there, please? Just grab one. You will have a designation of a specific city. And that city you are... Yep, that's fine. Come on. Yep, that's exactly right. So in the cities, you will have... I expected better. So you will have 2 of these. So in Fez, what are we selling?
Camels, honey, and figs.
All right. You will also have one of these things that on the back has your way of making money, where you're trying to get these items together, and that then you can make it super rich. Also, there is, for every city, there's going to be a multiplier, a resource that you can use to multiply your one of your bundles by to make even more money. So that is going to be important for you in particular. These signs have to be placed on the side of your door so that people know where they are going. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. All right. So, and I can't help but point out that the pictures here align with the pictures back here. I know. It's almost like there's a plan. But you know that I have a hand in it, so you know that there is no plan. We're just making it up as we go along. Teachers, for you teachers who are watching this video, there's also going to be a bag of money. Take that out. This is for your cashing out at the end of the game. These bins, cities will get 2 bins so they can collect taxes and put the taxes in the bins. It just makes life easier. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's talk about the specific cities. So here we have a very rudimentary, slightly better than a stick figure map of Africa. I expected someone to chuckle at that.
It's pretty accurate.
That's all right. I just keep telling the jokes thinking that eventually I'll entertain myself. All right.
You'll eventually
So,
entertain us. I guarantee.
I tried. All right. So, the lunchroom is southern Spain over here. So, what as a merchant do you have to do to get to Africa? Yes, Dash.
Get on a boat.
You've got to get on a boat. So to get on a, so you're gonna get on a boat. I'll wait for you to comply with quiet. Okay. So you'll get on a boat, and you're gonna have to pay the boat captain 1 liquid and 1 food item. That is the cost of getting on the boat. You have to take a boat from Spain to Tangier. Tangier is going to be that door over there. Boat. I tell you what, as soon as you, Nate Roybal, yes, his name is going to live in infamy for the rest of the life of this video. As soon as you make that swim from Gibraltar to Morocco by yourself, then we'll allow you to swim on the concrete. But until then, that is not going to happen. All right, moving on. Okay, moving on. That even got some smiles over here, so that's better. All right, so when you enter Tangier, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to pay a tax. The tax going south, the southbound tax is going to be 1 liquid. Now, liquid is going to include water and wine. Water and wine are represented by blue and red paper. And then 1 food item. And this is your entry. Once you're in Tangier, there are going to be things that other cities may need. So you trade, and then you leave the city. But in order to leave the city, what do you have to do? So to pay a tax to exit, you will have to pay 1 liquid and 1 porter. I know, not Porter the child. Porter the 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. So when you when you get into Fez, you're gonna have to go through the tax cycle again. Same for Sigil Masa, Tingaza. Now from Tingaza, you have several options. You can go to Timbuktu, you can go to Geni, or you can go to Gao. If you're in Geni, you have the choice of Timbuktu or Gao. If you're in Gao, you have the choice of going back to Geni, going to Tingaza, or going to Timbuktu. So those are the trade routes that we are playing in this game. We also have one additional trade route. We are going to play with the Cairo variation. Now, Cairo is, in this game, going to be the link to the Silk Road. There are going to be items available from the Silk Road that are only available in Cairo that these cities on the other side of the continent are going to desperately want. If you can figure out a way to get these materials over to the other side, you are going to get money. Now, obviously, this is going to require an extra a boat trip. So plan accordingly. All right. So on your way north, the taxes will be similar. You will be asked to pay 1 liquid, 1 food, 1 liquid. Maybe if this writes. And then either 1 salt or 2 golds. So the question I have for you, the big question I have for you is, assuming you are a long haul trader like this group right here, how many liquids, foods, porters, and salts do you need just to make the whole trip? Discuss that amongst yourself.
You need a lot. So, wait, plus the ball.
What? Food. 1 food. 3, 2, 1, 0. So, in total, how many liquids should you start out with if you're a traveling merchant? Tyler?
Well, when you're going like south, you should have at least like 14.
And how about going north? 14.
14.
So that's a total of
28.
28 units. How many foods will you need? Not 28.
14.
You'll need 14 units of food. How many porters will you part with?
4. 7.
Eventually, if you say enough numbers, you will get.
No, I knew that.
Okay.
There's 17.
And how many salts?
7 or there's also an alternative. 7.5.
All right. If you are in a city, I just noticed on this. If you're on a city, you will get to keep 1/2 of the taxes that you collect. The other half is essentially being used up by the traveling merchants going through the desert and all that fun stuff. You are at 1 o'clock. You're going to start setting up your room to collect taxes, to allow for a trading area, and also to allow for sandstorm recovery, which is essentially a math worksheet. At the end of the game, you are going to be cashing out with the teacher who is in charge of the room. But that's a good question. We haven't talked about whose room is what yet. So, Rivas is going to be in Tangier. You definitely need to write this down. Fez will be Wester. Sijilmasa is going to be Martins. Curly will be Tingaza. Tobias, after much politicking, has been granted Timbuktu. My room, which unfortunately for those folks is not going to include me, it's going to be Miss Winter. I'm sorry. I know, you look actually pretty excited about that. And then Bailey's will be Jenny. And I will be in Cairo. So victory for the Cairo folk. Let's go Cairo. All right. So that is sort of the last final instructions. Are there any last questions before I release you late for your... Actually, we're not late yet. Yes, Balt. I'm going to deal with the 8th grade in a second. Yes, Nate.
I have a question. Like when you get into your room, do you have to like move around the desk?
Yes.
So like you can like put like so you have to like put a trading area on one side and put like a.
Yes. So you can rearrange the furniture as necessary. Just know that at the end of the game, you will be asked to put the furniture back. But whatever. All right. So if there are no other questions, 7th grade, have a great day. 8th grade, stay here.